Okay, so today we're having another look at the Faderport 8 from Presonus. See how I've got it set up there. There's a couple of things I just wanted to show. I'm probably not going to have the Faderport for much longer. It's not the best with FL Studio, but if it's the one that you have and you like FL Studio, it can be made to work reasonably well, as I'm about to demonstrate. As I say, I won't repeat what I've done before, but I did want to answer a question that somebody had about upgrading from a Faderport 8. There's obviously a Faderport 16, which is the obvious upgrade, but then you have to sell your Faderport 8 second-hand and buy a Faderport 16. So this person wanted to know, would their Faderport work with an extender from a different manufacturer? So that's one of the questions I'm going to ask today. And I've got a Behringer X-Touch sitting next to it there. But before we do that, I thought I'd just show you a couple of things. Let's close down the settings here, and keep your eye on this chap here, because what I've done now is, instead of having a lot of mess on the scribble strips, which if you look at the previous video was the case, now if you make adjustments, they're appearing in the FL Studio on that screen, which you can move wherever you like, and that's the case whatever you're doing. So that's panning, and it'll give you feedback on the panning on the scribble strip and also in FL Studio. The actual percentages, you can reset that. The other thing I wanted to show you is on this first display here, you can see there's a large 01 underneath the track name and track number. I can switch that to other numbers, because what it's doing is it's always going to show me the selected track. So my selected track there is track 6, and if I bank up, I've still got track 6 there, which is quite a handy thing to know, especially if you're playing with effects or plugins, because they are always going to be for your selected track. I can select one of these tracks now. You'll see that update, and you'll also see it's telling me on the FL Studio that I'm currently on bank 3, and that's feedback again, which is now going directly from the Faderport 8 onto the screen in FL Studio. So let's bring that back down to bank 1, bank 0 in fact, which is the master, and let's switch on the extender. Let's see what happens. I don't know whether you can see that, but we've now got track 9 on the Faderport 8, and the extender becomes our tracks 1 to 8. And if I bank up, it should bank up now that I've got 16 tracks total. It should bank up by 16. So banking up, I'm on track 17, and I'm on track 25 on the Presonus, so that's correct. Let's bank up again. I'm on to bank 41 on the Presonus. Track 33 is my first track on the extender, which again is correct, and that's showing bank 4, which you can see in FL Studio. It's just disappeared. Let's bank up again. There we are. Bank 6, bank 4. So in fact, the banks are showing banks of 8, which I guess I could adjust in FL Studio. But in fact, we're banking, as most people want to do, we're banking the whole set, which is quite nice. And the other thing which I showed you earlier on, if I select on the extender, the selected track is reflected on the Presonus, which is quite nice. Okay, I think that's all I wanted to show you today. I hope that's been interesting. Hopefully I'll get a chance to show you some more. There are a few little tricks which I'm working on with the generic script, which the Faderport is playing much better now with than it previously was, and that should be available hopefully fairly soon. But thanks very much for your time.